believe it's afternoon still. I believe it's afternoon. Coming to you live from outside City Hall. Just wanted to do this live, just give everybody first of all, let me know how the audio sounds. I can't hear the audio in these headphones, so let me know how the audio sounds. Just want to do this live to give everybody an update as to where I'm at, and I haven't done a live in 2 weeks, so I want to make sure that this is informative, and this is just trying to put all the cards on the table. Just let me know how the audio is. I can't hear. I don't know what. We need to get a new headset. We need to get new headphones. So, in order to give context to these things, and context this weekend, and context things that have happened, I feel like it is necessary to go back to 2 weeks ago, go back to getting shot at, and go back and cover all these issues. So, but before I go back, I do want to say that I still am experiencing symptoms of a concussion. I have been diagnosed at this point. I have been diagnosed with a concussion. And what else? And thank you. That's what I want to say. Thank you to everybody that called. Thank you to everybody that checked in. Thank you to everybody that shared the video, shared any type of video, shared pictures. I fully believe if there isn't that pressure from the outside, I fully believe if there weren't so many people checking in on me, and there weren't so many calls made from the outside, that there's nothing done to me. I'm just left there alone. And while it was just a nurse that came and checked on me on Saturday, and a different nurse came and checked on me on Sunday, I truly believe if there isn't that pressure from the outside, then there is no nurse. There is no nurse that check on me. There is no nurse that come to see me. There's nothing. So I know a lot of the calls was made for a hospital visit, and that's not, at that point, when it got to be Saturday, and I knew I'm gonna have to stay to the weekend, I knew at no point were they ever gonna take me to the hospital. I fully believed that there was nothing that anybody could do for them to give me a hospital visit. But I do want to say that even just knowing that so many calls were made, even just knowing that it's this pressure being put out from the outside, it at least gave me, at least allowed me to have a positive mindset. It at least allowed me to have the mindset of, okay, I know people are caring about me. I know people are checking in on me. I know people are out there riding for me. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who did those things. But I do feel like, okay, so now we're going to go back. We're going to go back in time. We're going to go back 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, it's been 2 weeks since we got shot. It's been shot at. Didn't get shot. It's been 2 weeks since we got shot at. And just to give context to these things, I do feel like there's a intersectionality to these things, and there's a connectedness to all of these issues. 2 weeks ago, August 31st, it was also the trial was going on for Antar. Antar was going through his trial, and that's the reason that we're outside the Winnebago County Justice Center. And early on in that day, I went through, before we had started the live video, I went through a live video. My fault. Earlier on in that day, before we had started the live, I had went to a court date, went to court support for somebody else, went to court support for another protester who was wrongfully arrested. And it was not a physical altercation, but it was a verbal altercation with a bailiff, and which led to me just leaving the courtroom, leaving the entire Justice Center, and just being agitated. So going into that live video, I'm be honest, it was a feeling of agitated. It was a feeling of, man, fuck these bailiffs. Just feeling of just anger, really. I don't even, just not necessarily anger, but just frustration. And I think that show, I think I'm beyond. I think that show, I think you can see that. That show is in the live video, that it is obvious and evident that it is that I am frustrated, that I am a little bit annoyed. So, and I really believe that having that mindset led to me getting up multiple times during the live. It led to me going to the bathroom, getting water, throwing away the water, to where at the time we was at 5:30 when we were getting shot at, around 5:30. I had gotten up and I'm standing up, and where the side of the table where the bullet hit, I'm standing up on that side. I'm standing up on that side. And I'm just looking at Leslie. I'm trying to prepare myself mentally. Okay, let's just lose this feeling. Just focus on Antar. Make sure Antar trial go okay. Make sure we hear not guilty from Antar, and everything go good. Just trying to get myself back in that positive mindset and get myself back into a right mindset to hop back into the live. So I'm standing up there and just watching Leslie, just trying to prepare myself. And I started to hear the shots. I hear the shots, and I think Leslie has said this, and we both had the same thought, that when I first heard them, when I first heard the first two, I'm thinking it's firecrackers. I just watched The Sopranos. I just watched a scene in The Sopranos where Tony and everybody go over to Italy, and some kids light off firecrackers, and everybody thinks it's gunshots, so everybody ducked. So I had just watched that episode. So that was my first thought when I heard the shot. So I'm standing up. I was looking at Leslie. I hear it. So I turn and look, and I'm trying to look like, where is that coming from? Or not where is it coming from, but where is it? Where is it coming from at first? But that's once I realized it's gunshots. Once I realized that it's so many of them back to back to back, I'm starting to think, okay, they're obviously shooting from over here, somewhere in this area. Where are they shooting at? Where are they shooting? Where the bullet's coming from? Then I hear the bullet hit the table, and my first thought, again, like Leslie, is just, okay, they're shooting at us. I gotta get out of here. I don't know how many more shots are gonna come. I don't know how many people are shooting. I don't know what's going on. Let me just go. Let me just run. So that was my mindset. So then after that, and after getting shot at, still not fully knowing who shot at us, still not knowing where the person shot from, the police end up getting called, and I'm trying to walk around, trying to figure out, okay, where could these what's a realistic angle for these bullets to have come in at? So I didn't even have no interactions with the police when they came. But the night continued, the days continue afterwards, and it's some precautions taken, it's some safety measures taken to ensure that if we do get shot at again, that it's just some safety measures taken. And one of them safety measures taken was vests. Vest was given, and I was wearing a vest. I was wearing a vest, trying to wear a vest every day. Every day I was out here. Every day I was moving around. Every day I was at City Market and everything. I was just trying to wear a vest. So the City Market happened on Friday, and the week continued. The City Market happened on Friday, and the vest is heavy. I'm be honest, the vest is heavy. So this is not last Friday, but the Friday before, and it exhausted me. It made me tired, but I knew it was a safety measure. I knew that getting shot at is a serious thing, and I didn't know if they was gonna come back. I didn't know what the mindset of the shooter would be or is. So it tired me, it exhausted me, and for that reason I didn't do no live after City Market, week 16 of City Market. I didn't do no live. I was still feeling the after effects of getting shot at, and I was just mentally drained and physically drained from wearing the vest, and to where I was ready to eat and just go to sleep. I was ready to eat and just go to sleep. So the next week continue, and those safety measures, they continue. Those safety measures, still wearing the vest, still moving around, still trying to move around safely. And it get to last Friday again, to where I'm wearing the vest again. And it's where it's real windy. Things get a little bit unclear for me. So we walk in the crosswalk like we have in the past. It's Terry's birthday. Happy birthday to Terry. I'm sorry that I got arrested on your birthday. Happy birthday, Terry. And everything going the way it has been. It's I don't know what ethnicity this woman actually is, but it was a woman that came up, and she had of a darker complexion. She was a very dark complexion. I don't know what ethnicity she is, but she was clearly not a white woman. She was clearly not a white woman, and she was, I don't know if she was confused or what was going on, but she was saying that she was white. She was saying that she was white. A point that I try to make during City Market, if there is any agitators that come by, if there is anybody that's looking for an argument or looking for some type of physical or even a verbal confrontation, I just try to keep moving. I just try to make sure that our goal is not to get in some type of altercation. Our goal is not to be in whether that be physical or verbal. Our goal during City Market is trying to bring awareness to these issues, trying to bring awareness and highlight the issues of police terrorism. So whenever somebody come up and they're yelling and screaming, they're obviously looking for that type of altercation. I just try to keep moving. So when she came up and was yelling that she was a white woman, first it shocked me that she did it. I'm being honest, it shocked me that she was yelling and that she was a white woman. But then my mindset would just keep moving, just keep moving. So then I see the police are gathering up. I see different spots, different altercations happen, different verbal altercations happen. I see the police are gathering up. And I know anytime it's get to a point to where it's 7 to 10 to 12 police officers in one area, that they're ready to come in. That they're ready to come in and do some type of action. And at that time, I fully believed, because of the nature of things, because of how things had gone that day, I believe that they was there to make an arrest. But because I hadn't played the siren, I knew it wasn't no chance of getting an ordinance violation, because I have them and multiple other people have them on film saying multiple times over weeks, on several weeks, that I can use a siren, that using the megaphone, not my fault, that using the megaphone is enough to give me a noise ordinance violation. That using the siren is, and I hadn't played the siren. So I was fully in the mindset of, okay, it's 7 police officers, it's 10 police officers up here that are ready to come and make arrests. And so I go and I'm trying to get everybody on the same page, that they're gathering up, they're huddling up, they're massing up, they're ready to come over here. They're ready to come over here and make some arrests. So they go out, so they end up where they come over, and at first they driving around. They driving through, they parking in this parking lot over here where I don't know what business that is. But they park in this parking lot, they just moving through. So, so I'm just trying to make sure that everybody on the same page. And once I'm sure that everybody's on the same page, again, my mission, our goal is to continue walking the crosswalk, continue trying to spread this message, continue trying to raise awareness to these issues. And it gets to a point to where the police officers come up and they make one arrest, they go over and they make another arrest. And all I'm asking is, what are the charges? What are the charges for the people? What are their charges? Because I have not seen anything that anybody has done to where it would make my fault. All the actions that people had did to that point would make any arrest unlawful. Every action that anybody took on Friday. My fault. It's this card. Okay. Any action, I knew that any arrest made was going to be unlawful, so I was trying to ensure what the charges are, so we can get them bonded out, and we can get them bonded out today. So after that, this is where things get unclear. This is where I started. I have memory loss. From Friday. I remember them coming over and they had arrested a member of media. And they're walking over, and again, I'm asking, what are the charges? And the last thing I remember is I got to do like a scan, like time had slowed down for me. It was I hadn't got this feeling in a while where everything slowed down, and I just got to it was almost like an out-of-body experience, to where I could look and I could see everybody, and I could see where everybody was at, and I knew they was already coming at me at this point. They had already grabbed me, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna throw this megaphone to an area where nobody is at, where no police officers are at, and I can't be falsely charged with trying to batter a police officer, trying to make sure that I can't be charged with no felony. So I throw it to an area where nobody's at, and I throw it just give somebody a chance, if somebody else can get it, that we don't lose the megaphone. And then from there, I do not remember anything. I don't remember anything. I don't remember them walking me to the van. The only thing I remember is the pain from hitting my head. That's the only thing I remember. And the pain would be consistent. The pain would be there. But the problem with that would, because we so involved in the protest, and my adrenaline is so far up, and I'm so my energy's so up, to where I don't even get a chance to properly feel the pain until I'm sitting in the jail. So I'm sitting. I really do not remember anything in the van. I don't remember the walk. Like I said, I don't remember the walk. I was trying to remember when I was in there, and I couldn't remember anything. So then, after I get in the jail, I'm asking them, "What are my charges? What are my charges? What am I being charged with? What could I possibly have been charged with? I didn't hit nobody. I didn't try to hit nobody. You grabbed me you pushed me. You grabbed me for no reason. What am I being charged with? What could I possibly be charged with?" And everybody's saying, "We're working on that. We're working on that." So, and I'm still in handcuffs at this point. So where they go and they take my handcuffs off, and my hand is sore. It's gone down. It's almost back to normal. But my hand is swollen. My whole wrist is swollen. And I don't even remember what that come from. I don't even remember what that injury came from. So after, some cars going out. So I'm in handcuffs. I'm asking them what my charges are. An officer, I believe his name is Ivy, comes to take my handcuffs off, and he begins to pat me down after he takes my handcuffs off. Then he pat me down and he feel the vest. I was wearing the vest on Friday, and he go, "What is this? What is this?" And I tell him, "It's a vest. It's a vest. Somebody tried to kill us. Somebody tried to shoot at us. Somebody tried to kill us." And he go, "Who tried to kill you?" And in all honesty, I'll be fully transparent with the conversation. I say, I don't know. Where were you at 5:30? Where were you on August 31st at 5:30? Then he go, I was working. So to me, what I feel like is, okay, that make you a prime suspect. So I tell him that, okay, you was working at 5:30, you was working on August 31st, you're a prime suspect. So we get into another verbal altercation. And he make me go to the bathroom and try, take off the vest. And then from there, I go back and I sit down, and I'm starting to feel it. I'm starting to feel the after effects. I'm starting to feel dizzy. I'm starting to feel like the ground is shaking. I'm starting to feel the pain in my head. And I'm trying to, at this point, I realize that I don't remember actually being put in cuffs. And Williams get back in there. Matthew Williams, he ended up getting back in there, and he ended up saying, and again, I'm asking him, "What are my charges? You're my arresting officer. What are my charges?" And he again, "We're working on that." And I go, "What are you working on? What are you working on?" So we go, "We're trying to work on this vest, this body armor." He called it body armor. My fault. He keep calling it body armor. And I go, "What do you mean you're trying to work on this body armor?" And then he go, "You can't wear that." Oh shit, I'm not even. Okay, so now let me know how the audio sound. So then after that, he go, "You can't wear that. I don't think you can wear that." And then he go, "Do you know? Do you know you can't wear that? Do you know?" I'm asking him, do you know that I can't wear that? And he go, no, I need to do my research, but I don't feel like you can wear that. So what does that mean if we in a place to where an officer is actively trying to criminalize and actively trying to punish me and trying to think of a way and researching a way and doing everything that he can to punish me because a safety measure and a safety precaution was taken after we got shot at? Trying to criminalize, trying to charge me with a crime because we got shot at and the safety measures taken after we got shot at. So then he ended up leaving. He ended up leaving the jail, and I'm starting to the feelings intensify. That would happen more. It would just intensify and intensify, and more things would come in. And I don't know if I've ever. I know I've never addressed this on a live video. That I played football from second grade to my senior year. I played football, and something that happened, especially as I grew older and got into middle school playing football and got into high school, is I would sustain concussions almost every year. I would get a concussion. So I'm in the jail, and I'm starting to feel like I'm getting that feeling again. I'm getting that feeling, and I recognize the feeling. I'm recognizing the feeling of getting these headaches and feeling dizzy and feeling like I could throw up. And so I know I have a concussion. I know what this feeling feel like. I know going through this pain. I've been through it multiple times. The last time I had gotten a concussion, my doctor had said that I need to be really careful not to get another one because it could cause some serious long-term damage to you. It could cause some serious long-term brain damage to you. And I'm remembering that. I'm remembering all these things. I'm remembering all the different times I've had to go through this. So at this time, I am 100% sure that I have a concussion. I've gone through it before. I know what it feels like. I'm 100% sure what a concussion feels like. And I'm at that point, getting to a point to where I'm so dizzy, starting to feel so sick, to where I asked the police officer in there, I need you to open the door to the bathroom. I'm feeling dizzy. I need you to open the door to the bathroom. Then he go, dizzy how? And I go, I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up. So as soon as he opened the door, I run in there and I throw up. So then after I throw up, I try to wash my face. I try to just keep my eyes closed, and I'm walking and I'm stumbling while this is going on. I'm walking, I'm stumbling. I don't have my balance, and I go and sit back down on the bench. And that would happen 3 different times. 3 times I would run to the bathroom and I would throw up. 3 times. And during this time, I'm asking them, I want to go to the hospital. I want to see a doctor. And I should have covered this before, but when I had seen the nurse, I had the nurse in the pre-booking area, I had told her that I had gotten hit in the head, and I had told her that my wrist is hurting. And she don't check out my wrist. She don't feel for the bumps in the back of my head. It is only afterwards where I'm throwing up, and multiple times, 3 different times I had to throw up just for the cop to tell her he's throwing up. And she go, okay, bring him over. So I go over there, and then I'm telling her, and the first thing she say to me is, you didn't tell me you was experiencing new symptoms. And I tell her, I have no delusions of trying to be some type of tough macho guy, and I know how serious a concussion is. I know how serious my doctor responded when I got my last concussion. I know how serious these effects can be. So I have I'm fully transparent with all my symptoms to her. Then she say, well, you didn't tell me that you was experiencing new symptoms. And I told her, I told you I had bumps on my head. I told you I was feeling dizzy. I told you they slammed me. I told you I have a concussion. So then she go, she don't say nothing. She just shook. I could tell that she just didn't know what to do. She was just shook. She had no idea what to do. She was almost like set in stone. So I go and I tell her, do you need to feel the bumps? What do I need to do to go to the hospital? Do you need to feel the bumps? What do I need to do to get some type of medical care? So then she still in that same space of she just shook. She don't know what to do. So she go, yeah, let me feel him. So she go and I turn my head and she feel the bumps in my head, and it's two bumps. It's one that at the time the swelling has gone down quite considerably, but at the time it was probably about this big and like circular, this big, and there was another one that was slightly smaller in the back of my head that was maybe just slightly smaller than that one. So then she go and she feel it, and she the first thing she say when she feel the bumps is, "Oh wow, you do have a bump," as if I were to be lying about this concussion. So already after that, and after previous experiences in being in the jail and seeing somebody had been pepper sprayed in the face directly and them receiving no medical treatment, I was fully prepared to not receive any type of medical attention for this concussion or for this risk. So after that happened, she don't do nothing for me. She don't offer me no medicine. She don't say to take me to the hospital. She don't do anything. She just, okay, go sit back down. So then I just have to proceed with normal procedures of getting normal procedures of pre-booking. And one of the procedures of pre-booking is you have to go through a machine, a metal. I don't know what the fuck you call it, but you have to go through a machine where you slide. I don't even know how to describe it. You have to stand on one side, and then you slide over. They roll you over, and you have to stand still. You have to stand still the entire time. And I'm at a point to where I have thrown up 3 different times. The pain in my head is so intense, so I can just feel my brain just boom, 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 boom. I can just feel it, and I can't even walk straight. I can't even walk. I'm stumbling. I'm dizzy. I can't even walk straight. To where they bring me over from evidence, and the CO he holding me. He's physically holding me up, and he's asking, "Are you gonna make it?" And I don't even say nothing. I can't even answer them at that point. And he go, "Okay, I'm gonna go with you. I have to go with you. I'm going to go with you." So at this point, I've thrown up 3 times. I have multiple bumps in the back of my head, multiple bruises, swelling in the back of my head. I've told them I feel dizzy, memory loss, don't remember of the events that led up to my arrest, don't remember anything in the van, don't remember the walk to the van, nothing. So this is where we're at this point. And I'm telling everybody, I'm being fully transparent with everybody I talk to. The CO asking if but nothing ended up happening. No medical treatment. He just go with me. Then I go over to the room before you get into the chairs. You can make phone calls. So they put me in the room, and I'm there for maybe 15, 20 minutes. Just in there. With my head in my hands, just bent over, just trying not to. The light is making things worse. The light is making things worse, and the sound of things. It felt like they was being purposely loud, unnecessarily loud, just the banging and the noise of it all was just contributing to the headaches and everything. So I'm in the little pod area, maybe 15, 20 minutes. And I get over, and they send me over to the next side. And I talk to the CO, and he getting me all ready to take the picture and go through the fingerprints. And I'm telling, again, he run me through the same question. Do you have any injuries? I'm telling them I have a concussion. My wrist hurt. I want to go to the hospital. My head hurt. I can hear my brain pounding. So then after that, he go and he take me to do the picture, and I'm swaying back and forth. I'm so dizzy to where I'm swaying back and forth during my picture. And he go over there and he touch on my shoulder and go, "Okay, just stay still, we can get through this." And I go and I take the picture, and he bring me over to do the fingerprints, and you see that my hand is at that point it was so swollen and so red, and had already had a mark on it to where it was bruised, that he not even trying to be he not even trying to get the fingerprints of this hand. That's what I'm trying to say. He not even trying to get the fingerprints of this hand. And I'm telling him, don't you need these? He's trying to twist it. I'm telling him, it hurts. You're hurting me. You're hurting me. To where he just say, okay, you've been here so many times. Just you're good. You've been here. We got it on our record already. We just needed to have something on documented. So I go and at this time I'm allowed to make a phone call. And I fully believe and I'm fully aware that every phone call that I make, I'm expecting Jay Hanley to listen in some type of way. Every phone call I make, I'm expecting the prosecutor overseeing my case to listen to in some way. I'm expecting all of these CEOs at some point to listen to all of these phone calls that I'm making. I know that how things have gone in the past. I'm fully expecting the CEOs to listen to all these phone calls. So that's my mindset before I make a call. And when I make the call, I'm telling them I'm throwing up. I have a concussion. I know what this pain feel like. I know what this feel like. I know going through that. I've been through this multiple times. I have a concussion. They're not taking me to the hospital. I'm asking everybody if they can take me to the hospital. I'm telling everybody that I need to go to the hospital, and nothing is happening. So after I get off the phone and make the phone calls, all the phone calls that I make 3 different phone calls. One to my parents, two to my parents. So then, afterward, another one to another protester. My fault. Just trying to be fully transparent with all the events that happened. So then, as I'm waiting in there, I go and I sit down, and Nick come over, and my fault. My fault. A member of media come over, then another protester that got arrested come over, and I'm just trying to make sure that they are okay and nothing happened to them, because again, I do not remember the events that led up to my arrest. And once I make sure that they're okay, the CEO come and he tell me, okay, you're gonna leave. You're gonna go upstairs. You're gonna leave. You're gonna go upstairs. So then I go, where am I getting dressed to? Where am I gonna go? Then he goes, they know about your head. We're gonna try to. They know about your head. We're gonna look after you. We're gonna take care of you. That's what he said. That's what he told me. Hold on, let me get a water. My fault. So the CEO tell me that they're gonna look after me, and he give me a bracelet that I had never gotten before. It was and I forgot to get dressed, and all this time, it's still nothing has gone away. The pain in my head is still intense. I'm still feeling dizzy. CEOs are still helping me walk. CEOs are still helping me get around, because I cannot do it on my own. So then they end up taking me upstairs to their so-called medical unit. Oh shit! I can just hear myself. And no nurse come to see me that night. No, nobody come to check on me. Nobody try to ask how I'm doing. Nobody. I'm just left alone. And for the vast majority of the first night, I'm having trouble sleeping. I can't sleep. The area they had me in, it's a medical unit, but it's also a place for. It's also the same pod to where they put anybody that is suicidal, and they put anybody who is neurodiverse and needs to talk to a psychiatrist. So that is a pod that I'm in. And the nature of these things, and the nature of this, and the lack of adequate mental health care leads to a lot of these people that are in this pod They're banging and banging on the cell doors. They're screaming and yelling. They're getting arguments back and forth, and all these things are contributing to the noise of these things is contributing to my headaches. The noise and the brightness of the lights and the CO coming around and banging on the doors and checking on the doors. Banging, not checking, my fault. Banging on the doors is all contributing to my headache, to where I got into a point, and the light as well. I want to just get everything out there. The light, the brightness of things, to where I'm just sitting there in my cell with a blanket over my head, just trying to go to sleep for hours. For hours. And again, every time somebody come in, I'm telling them I need to go to the hospital. My head hurt. I have a concussion. And this is where the lies start to begin. The lies start to begin based on what I've heard. In the morning, probably around 6:30, they serve breakfast. They wake everybody up and they serve breakfast. And because I felt so sick, and because I had just thrown up 3 different times, and I was still dry heaving at points, I knew that, and I was scared that anything that I would eat, I would throw up again. So because I didn't want to throw up again, because of how bad my head was feeling, and how sick I was feeling, and how dizzy I was feeling, I asked my cellmate at the time, you can eat everything. Just take it. If there's any fruit, just give me the fruit. No, my fault. That was my fault. Things are still a little shaky. The first morning, Saturday morning, they served me eggs. And eggs is all scattered throughout all the tray. So I tell them, I bang on the door. I go, I'm allergic to eggs. I told you, and I've told you every single time that I've come in here, I'm allergic to eggs. I can't touch any of this food, otherwise I'll break out in the hives. I'm allergic to eggs. So you go, and somebody else, another inmate, end up taking the food, and somebody ended up giving me an apple, and I ate an apple. That was the only thing that I would eat on Saturday. I ate an apple. And what I'm hearing I end up getting out and making phone calls, getting out and be able to move around the pod and make phone calls. And all during this time, again, the issues and the symptoms don't stop. The headache don't stop. The dizziness don't stop. The feeling of sickness don't stop. Not the sensitivity to lights and the sound, the loudness of things, that don't stop. But because I feel like I'm in jail, and I didn't want to just sit in my cell, and I wanted to pass along the information of how I'm being treated in the jail, I get up and I make phone calls. And what would be said, what I would be told in the midst of making these phone calls from people is that the people that are calling the jail are saying that I'm eating okay, that I'm eating good, I'm up and I'm moving around, and I'm okay. I'm being well looked after. At this point, I've been in the jail for maybe over 12 hours. And nobody else came to check on me. Nobody else came to ask how I'm doing. Nobody else came to offer. Nobody took me to the hospital. I'm telling everybody that I want to go to the hospital. So I end up eating the apple, and I make these phone calls. And again, I spend most of Saturday laying on the bed with a blanket over my face. So then I wake up the next day after another night to where I can't go to sleep, and another night to where I'm struggling to go to sleep, struggling to fall asleep, and the pain in my head is still intense. The whole weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even a little bit into Monday morning, the pain in my head just boom, 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 boom. I can feel my brain just pulsing. And again, none of the other symptoms stop either. And I'm telling everybody about these issues. So then at some point Saturday, I forgive me because I cannot remember when, but a nurse come to see me. And this nurse is a nurse I have seen multiple times in the jail, multiple times working. And I'm not going to isolate this to her, but something that I've seen with the nurses in the jail is their willingness to just disbelieve, and their willingness to just the willingness and their eagerness to just not try to treat anybody. So she get there and I'm telling her that I have a concussion. I'm telling her I've had multiple concussions in the past. I know what a concussion feel like. I have a concussion. And I'm telling her about the bumps in my head. I'm telling her about my wrist. So then she go and she feel the bumps in my head. And she described the bump in my head, which at that point it was still about this large, and the other bump was still about this large. When she first feel my head and I tell her about these bumps, she feeling everywhere except where I tell her to feel. She feeling around all along the side of my head. She's being openly rude. She's being openly trying not to find these bumps. I'm telling her it's right here. It's right in this corner. It's right here and right there in the back of my head. And she feeling everywhere except where the bumps are. So where I finally tell her, you're not even trying to feel where the bumps are. I'm frustrated. You're not even trying to feel it. You're not even trying to feel where the bumps are. You're not trying to do anything that I'm telling you. So then she go and she take her hand back and she huffing and puffing and she, okay, tell me where the bumps. Tell me. And she rolling her eyes and I tell her right here. It's right here, right where I've told you. It's right here. So then she go and she put her hand there and she put like one finger and she go, oh, she described it as a teeny tiny bump the size of half a dime. So then I go, no, it is not. It's clearly, I can put my fingers around it. It's clearly about this big. And then you didn't even feel the other one. So then she go, okay, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. And she's trying to say that I'm being rude. And she's trying to say that I'm being mean to her. And different things. So I go, no, I am not. I'm trying to get medical attention. You are not trying to give me any medical attention. You're not trying to help me at all. You're not trying to do anything for me. So then after that, I tell her about my wrist. I tell her my wrist is swollen, my wrist is hurt. So again, the same thing that happened with my head. She feeling around everywhere. The wrist was swollen right here and was bruised right here. And she feeling around all along this side of my arm. She feeling every single spot except where I told her it hurts. Every single spot. So then again, I have to go through the same thing with her. You feeling every spot except where I told you to feel. So then again, she rolling her eyes and she go, okay, tell me, where is it? Where is it? So then I tell her, look, it's right here. It's right here. You can see it. So then she go, well, you see it's bruised. And I go, I know. I'm trying to get that message across to you. You don't have to tell me that it's bruised. You don't have to tell me that I'm in pain. You don't have to tell me that these things hurt. I'm trying to get that message across to you. So then she go, and again, she rolling her eyes. She rolling her eyes multiple times during this. So then she asked me if I want Tylenol. And because I've had multiple concussions in the past, because I've gone through this pain before, I know that Tylenol not going to help me at all. I know that Tylenol at times has made me feel worse. So I say, no, I don't want no Tylenol. And she say, okay, you're refusing medical treatment. So now I have to tell her, no, I am not refusing medical treatment. You are not giving me adequate medical treatment. So what do you want me to do here? So then she go, look, do you want the Tylenol or not? So I go, if you're going to write down that I'm refusing medical treatment, just give me the Tylenol. I'll take the Tylenol. I'll deal with whatever effects come from the Tylenol, just so can't nobody say that I refuse medical treatment. And again, the Tylenol don't help. It didn't make things worse, but it did not help at all. It made no type of improvements at all. So then that happened. I continued through the night, and it's the same feelings of the headache don't go away. I'm spending most of the time that I'm in my cell just laying down with a blanket over my head. And the pounding from other people that are in the jail continue. The screaming and yelling that continue, and these are all things contributing. And the overall loudness of the COs and the door slamming is contributing to where I feel like the only thing that I can do is just lay down with this blanket over my head. And Saturday morning, so Saturday continue, and I still the same thing. The same thing continued. So on Sunday come. And they served lunch. My fault. They served breakfast. And no eggs this time. They didn't give me no eggs. Partly because that just wasn't part of the meal plan on that day. But the only thing that I could eat was an orange. I ate an orange on Sunday. And again, I'm still to a point to where the pain in my head is so intense, the dizziness is so intense, the pounding and everything else is so intense, and just moving around is make me feel worse. Just moving around, trying to walk around, make me feel sick. No, I don't know. No, I don't know her name. I don't know her name. But after that. Sunday morning, I eat that orange, and I continue making phone calls, and then a different nurse, come up to see me, and part of me feel like she was a plant, but part of me not sure. So I'm not gonna say that she was either way. But she came in and she was wearing a Mercy Health outfit. She was wearing a Mercy Health outfit. And at that time, I thought I wasn't sure that I'd never seen it before, so. I wasn't sure if she worked in the jail. I wasn't sure what she was. But at the time I went to a meeting with her, I'm thinking, okay, she a plant. She worked in the jail. They just told her to wear her normal uniform, wear her work uniform, her hospital uniform, just so I can think that an outside nurse, not affiliated with the jail, came to see me and came to treat me. And part of me still believed that. But she came in, she asked me how I was feeling, and I tell her, I'm feeling the same. Nothing has changed. I want to go to the hospital. I have a concussion. So then she go, well, I didn't see you before, so I don't know how you feeling the same. I don't know. So I get up. I tell her, I'm sorry. I get up. I tell her, I have a concussion. I run through all my symptoms that I'm experiencing at this time. And she go... she's at least more willing to believe me. She's not comparative to the other nurse. She's not openly trying to disbelieve me. She's not openly trying to be rude or openly trying to dismiss me. So to where I'm telling her that I'm all my symptoms, and then the only thing that she say was, well, if you're feeling dizzy when you get up, just get up slow. That was the medical advice that she had given me. That was a medical treatment that I had gotten on Sunday. Get up slow. That's what she told me. So again, Sunday continued through much like Saturday. I try to stay out. I try to get out of my cell a little bit more on Sunday, just because I was just so miserable in that cell. I felt like it's only so many hours, it's only so many minutes that you could just spend in a cell with a blanket over your head, just feeling sick. So I try to get out and watch TV, and all these things made me feel worse. And I'm telling everybody that I have a concussion, and these things are making me feel worse. And I'm trying to relay these messages out to the people I'm making phone calls to. So then Monday come. And at this time on Monday, I'm really not sure. When I wake up on Monday, I'm not sure how things are gonna go. I'm not sure what the bond will be. I know they have raised my bond in the past. I'm not sure if they're gonna set a bond here. I'm completely in the dark, and the overall anxiousness of the day lead me to walking around more. But that also led to the pain that I'm feeling intensifying. So we're on Monday when I wake up, to where the headache has maybe went from like a 10 of absolute agony to maybe like a 8.5, an 8.5 on Monday. And no nurse come to see me on Monday, and they don't give me no Tylenol on Monday. They don't give me no Tylenol. And the CO, when the new CO come in, he say to me, the first thing he say to me after I meet with the bond lady, the pretrial bond lady, is I ask him when the nurse is coming. I ask him, when is the nurse coming to see me? When is the nurse coming to see up here? And he go, she'll be up here shortly. I'm gonna try to get you out of here. I'm gonna try to get you out of the medical unit. And I go, why? Why are you trying to get me out of here? Then he go, well, I know you were in here for a head injury, but I'm gonna try to get you out of here. So I go, nothing has changed. Nothing at all has changed. The headache is still there, along with every other symptom. Nothing has changed at all. Then he go, I could tell it's the same feeling that I got from the nurse in pre-booking, where he just shook. He didn't know what to do. He just shook. So he just go, okay. So that's where we're at on Monday. So I ended up moving around on Monday a little bit more, just because I was feeling so anxious about the court day, and just anxious about whether or not they're gonna let me out. And part of that anxiousness and part of that feeling of that mood, I believe, can be contributed to the concussion. So Monday come, and I end up going to court, and end up meeting, getting a new lawyer, and a meeting with my lawyer, and he said he's gonna give me a recog bond. And when he say that, I'm shocked, I'm stunned, and I'm stunned that he said that. Mainly, I wanted to say to him was, do you know how high my bond has been in the past? Do you know? Are you sure? How confident are you that you're gonna give me a maybe? I was prepared for him to be in for some type of rude awakening. That's where my mind was at. But they end up going to court, and they did end up giving me a recog bond, and no new bail conditions were added. Everything was concurrent. I got out. No money had to be paid. I got out, and no new bail conditions were added. So then, now I'm at a place today to where I can take that step back, and I can think, and I can ask myself, okay, what is the point of me staying in there the entire weekend, not receiving any medical treatment, if you're just going to let me out on a recog and add no new bond conditions? What is the point of me being inside that jail and have to suffer and struggle through the conditions inside that jail if you're just going to let me out on a recog? Why did I have to stay in there from Friday until Monday if I'm just out on a recog? But by the time I get released on Monday, I have to go to this hearing. I have to go to this hearing from these orders of protection from these Rockford orthopedic people. So that's the first thing I have to do after I get out of jail, is I have to go over and I have to sit in this meeting. And after that, because of how long that took, and by the time I can make it to any type of prompt care or walk-in clinic, they're telling me that the wait time I would have to, the time I would have to wait is longer than they're open. So I think one place I went to, I had gotten there like 5:30, and they said you're gonna have to wait. You're gonna wait like 2.5 hours, and they close at 8. So at 5:30 I'll go there. They close at 8. They're telling me I have to wait 2.5 hours. I'm calling around to different other places. They're telling me, we close at 6:30, and the wait is like an hour. So, because by the nature of these things, I don't want to go into any ER because I've seen how people have been treated in the ER when they have injuries related to the police or injuries related to protests or things. I've seen how Swedes treat people who have been injured like this and injured in circumstances like this. So I ended up going to sleep, and it's the same thing on Monday night, to where even though I'm out of jail, even though the overall loudness and the brightness of things has gone down, I'm still struggling to fall asleep. The headache is still there, the dizziness is still there, and the overall symptoms don't change. To where today, overnight, I was finally able to go to sleep. And when I wake up, first thing I do when I wake up is go to OSF. And I was finally diagnosed with a concussion. And they gave me some paperwork. I'm gonna run y'all through some of this paperwork. Wait, I don't want y'all to see all that. Okay. My fault. Instructions. Head injury. Okay, so what? My fault. Home care. Watch for the following symptoms. So this is something to do after you have gotten a concussion and you aren't in police custody. These are things to do if you're just at home. Watch out for these symptoms. Okay. Seek, this is what it says. Watch for the following symptoms. Seek emergency medical care if you have any of these symptoms over the next hours to days. Okay. Headaches that get worse or doesn't go away. Nausea or vomiting. Dizziness. Sensitivity to light or noise. Unusual sleepiness or grogginess. Trouble falling asleep. Personality changes, vision changes, memory loss, confusion, trouble walking or clumsiness, loss of consciousness, inability to be wakened, stiff neck, weakness or numbness in any part of the body, or seizures. The vast majority of these symptoms I was experiencing throughout the entire weekend. Hold on. My fault down. I gotta find this. My fault. I'm trying to find this. Okay. It's a spot on here that say things that you should do. Things that you should do after experiencing, they call that a traumatic brain injury. Okay. This is what it says. Discharge instructions for concussion. You have been diagnosed with a concussion, a type of brain injury caused by a sudden impact to your head. It can also be caused by sudden movement of your brain inside your head, such as forced shaking. Some concussions are mild. Most people recover completely from mild concussions, but recovery may take days, weeks, or months. For some, symptoms may last even longer. Early care and monitoring are important to prevent long-term complications. Early care and monitoring are important to prevent long-term complications. Home care, do's and don'ts. These are the do's. These are the do's. Ask a friend or family member to stay with you for a few days. You should not be alone until you know how the injury has affected you. Tell your caregiver to wake you every 2 to 3 hours during the first night. Your caregiver should call 911 if he or she can't wake you or if you are confused. They didn't check on me. They left me in there for over 12 hours. Didn't check on me. For over 12 hours, not even longer than that. Even longer than that, nobody checked on me. And I'm sitting there with a blanket over my head, not moving in a cell. Nobody checked on me. Don't take any medicine unless your healthcare provider says it's okay. Eat light, clear fluids, whatever. And this is all. Don't return to sports. Don't return to physical activity. But again, all these issues, all these things in the aftermath and do's and don'ts, because I have been through multiple concussions and because I have been through this pain before, that I know that, okay, if I try to eat any of these full meals, that I'm going to throw up again. I know it's not good for me to overeat. I know it's not good for me to try to overextend myself or do any of these things. And the things that the things that somebody else is supposed to do, the things that somebody else is supposed to check in on you and supposed to limit them doing, they did zero of. Zero. Zero. So after all this time, I finally been actually diagnosed with a concussion. And again, I do want to talk about and address the fact that people was calling into the jail and they was lying to people, openly lying to people. It's proof. You can check. And I know, again, the same way I fully believe that Jay Hanley and that my prosecutors are going to listen to every single phone call I made, I fully believe that Jay Hanley and the prosecutor in my case is going to watch every single minute of my experience in jail. And they are going to see me sitting in there with a blanket over my head. They're going to see me in there dry heaving. They're going to see me in there throwing up. They're going to see me in there going through these pains. And they're going to hear me on the phone describing these pains. And the COs are on there. The COs working are answering calls and telling people that I'm eating fine, I'm eating good, I'm up and moving around, nothing wrong with me. They're saying that I'm getting that I'm getting full care. I'm getting full care. The doctors are in there. Nurses are checking on me. But the nurses that came in there are openly trying to disbelieve me. Openly trying to dismiss my symptoms and dismiss my injuries. And belittling my injuries. And I'm forced to stay in here. Forced to be in the jail. All to be let out on a recog. And I fully believe, that's how I'm going to end it. I fully believe if there wasn't that pressure from the outside, if there wasn't so many people invested and so many people calling, that I don't get let out on a recog. I fully believe if there's not clear video of an officer shoving my head to to where it hit the police van, I fully believe that I don't get let on a recog and they set some type of high bond to where I have to sit in there. I fully believe those things. 100% believe those things. There is not no way to where if there was no pressure to put on them, outside pressure, if there was no calls to be made, then I'm probably still in there, not receiving any medical care. They was trying to get me out of the medical unit, so I fully believe if the pressure isn't from the outside, that they put me back into a regular booking and put me back into 1A, and they just send me. They just don't give me no more medical attention. I fully believe those things. I 100% believe if it wasn't for the pressure on the outside, there ain't no way. There is no chance in hell without that pressure from the outside that the prosecutor is asking for a recog. The prosecutor is asking for everything to be concurrent, for no new bond conditions. I fully believe that don't come without the calls to be made from the outside. The calls that COs are openly lying on, and it's fully documented, and it's proof. It's proof. If they're telling the truth, and that I was on a 24-hour camera in the cell, then it's full proof that every lie that they told is proof that that's a lie. It's proof that I'm spending the entire weekend with a blanket over my head. It's proof that that I had an apple and an orange. It's proof of these things. It's all documented. So for that, I do want to end this in saying thank you to everybody that called. Thank you to everybody who was just thank you. I am appreciative of all these everybody that called and shared the video and had other people call and spread the message. It's a quote been going around down here. Let's say, what is it? Let me try to get it right. The 2 times I can count on people is when I'm in peril or when I'm in jail. And this weekend and these last 2 weeks, I've been in both, really. So, and this weekend is nothing more evident. Is the most evidence I've gotten to where I'm just thankful for everybody. I'm thankful for the calls to be made. I'm thankful for everybody that came to my court day. I'm thankful for everybody that was there when I was out. I'm thankful for everybody who has messaged me since. Thank you to everybody. And now we're in a place to where the struggle continue. The struggle continue, and it's City Market on Friday.